There's a few more tools in the kitchen which I think are really handy and everybody should own. A colander that can stretch across a sink. Makes it really so handy to drain something once you've rinsed it off and once you've washed it. It can drain right into the sink because it stretches across the sink. And you know, if you know the size of your sink, you can go to one of the discount places. I found this at a discount place for, I think it was under $3. And which reminds me, this cutting board of mine, I've seen for over $100 in several places, and I got it for $14 at a discount place, which I think is just a total steal. So the colander, get one that can sit across here. Also, if you can find it so it has a flat base, you can set it down as well. So if you're going to take it over to where you're cooking, it's pretty handy to be able to set it over there. Then you have it when you need it. The other one, this one here is one that isn't meant to sit across the sink unless you have a small enough sink that it can go into. And I pre-washed these so I don't have to get into scrubbing them with a scrub brush, but that's basically what you should do, is scrub your vegetables with a brush, soak them, particularly if you can't get them from an organic market. And even if you do get them from an organic market, you need to clean them up. They come with all sorts of things on them, and here in California we're pretty close to the sources of these, and it's very important to wash them really well because they've been recently handled by somebody. And so the colanders. The next thing that I want to talk about is, again, how much I love my knife. And what I've done is I've taken a piece of fresh ginger, and I'm going to be grating it into some of the vegetables, and I'm also going to grate it on some fish that I'm going to steam. And you can just get an easy, nice little cheese grater, and it works really well. I'm also going to show you how we might be able to make some shredded potato with it as well. But I'll set this aside until we're ready to do the fish. Something else that is handy is a wood spatula. I use this wood spatula a lot with my woks. I use it with everything else as well, because when they get old, when they get stained, when they get ugly, you can throw them out. And they're not very expensive to buy, and you can replace them. I think I've got 6 or 7 of them in the drawer. The other thing is that I think this is a trick that everybody knows, and that is when you get some asparagus, you cut off all the ends, throw those away, take a little bowl like this, put some water in the bottom of it, and use fresh, unprocessed water, not tap water. I'd use a good bottled water, and set it down and leave it for a little bit, because these guys will suck up all that moisture. So when these are steamed, or especially if you're doing it on the grill, if you're grilling these, or if you even put them on the griddle, the situation is they've got so much moisture in them, they just don't turn out to be little strings when you're done. So we're going to move over here to the cooktop, and we're going to go through some cooking things. And I also want to show you the herb garden that I've put together. That's easy to do. You go to a store, buy these little $1.99 boxes of herbs. You get a window box, stick them all in there. It gives you fresh herbs, which we're going to use on some of the fish that we're cooking and also on some of the vegetables we're cooking. So come on over here. Steamers. Steamers are another thing for steaming vegetables, steaming fish, steaming shrimp, anything that you like to steam. There are several different kinds to use. This is a large steamer here that I can use for the asparagus we're going to cook. And the thing about steaming asparagus is that you bring the water to a boil, you turn it off, you leave the lid on for a little bit, and then you take it off. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the asparagus to be really bright green. That's the idea. It doesn't need to be mush. People who are used to asparagus usually see that stuff that's in a can that's, I don't think it's related to this stuff. But in any event, bring the water to a boil, get it good and hot, build up a head of steam in there, toss it in, bring it back up to a boil, and when it's up to a boil again, then you can turn it off and they'll sit there and steam for a little bit, and then you can take the lid off. The next thing we're going to do is I have a smaller steamer back here, the same design, except it's just a smaller one, and I'm going to take a piece of halibut. This is Alaskan halibut, and I'm going to drop it into the bottom of that. On top of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some fresh ground ginger. I won't add it right away, but I'll add it in a moment after I get some of the other fish going here. So my halibut doesn't taste like salmon. I'm using my other hand. Here's a small skillet with about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch of water in it. And what I've done is I'm going to poach the fish in that. I've got the fire up really high initially. I'm going to turn it down to where it can sit there until it gets pink. And when you steam it, you want to check it periodically and then turn it off and let it sit for a while. And oftentimes you can serve that cold or you can serve it hot. There's some wonderful sauces that I'll talk about later on in one of the other series that we do that will show you how to make a wonderful cucumber sauce for the salmon. And it's absolutely fantastic to die for, and we'll show you how to do that. But now we've got these vegetables going and fish, and here's another steamer. This one's a real nice steamer because you can do a variety of things with it. You can put layered things in it. You can pick up one of these at a little Asian market. I think I paid $6 for this one. It's really handy. Get some of the very large shrimp, put them on top, and put a vegetable on the bottom. And set it. You can set it right down in a wok with about that much water in the bottom, and you can steam that, and it's really tremendous when it's done because you've got it all layered. It's all done in one container. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our wok good and hot because I've got some snap peas over here that I want to cook in the wok, and we're going to use some spices with those. We're going to throw a little garlic in there and a few hot chili flakes just to bring it up for temperature, and we've got a little bit of oil in there. What one might do, and it's something that I do, is I have a large stock pot, and a lot of times when I'm cooking, when I'm not cooking a series of things as I am right now, I'll have that stock pot on there with chicken in it, and it's basically a chicken stock, which I have skimmed off all the fat off of it, and I keep it there, and I have a ladle sitting in it, and I can ladle a little bit of that into my wok instead of using an oil, and I can bring things up to temperature with that. And when I need more moisture in anything, whether it be vegetables in the wok or steaming some things, if I want them to have a little bit of flavor, I can use that ladle to get a little bit of that good chicken broth and put in there. There's no salt, there's nothing else in it, and it's really great. So I think the asparagus, it's a bright green color right now, and it's ready to turn off. I'm going to leave it right now. And I am going to add some of the ginger, the fresh ginger, to the fish, because this is about when you want to put it on. And what I'm going to do, because that's a pretty good flame coming off of there, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off while I grate that, and turn it back on and turn it down a little bit to a medium flame, just to let that let that steam. And when that's steaming in there, when you know it's done is when it flakes. So I'm going to check in on the salmon. I think I can turn the salmon all the way down right now. And then we're going to start doing some stuff with the wok.